The baby's sleeping and I swept the patio, so I decided to make a video showing some of our plants. Here's a rubber tree, Ficus elastica burgundy, which is outside getting partly full sun, and it really likes that. I have a little jade plant. They're so easy to grow, and I have a huge one, so I just have them all over. Here's a philo green Congo, which I've had to replant a few times, repot, because it got root rot, but it survived, and it's starting to put out huge leaves again. So that's one of my favorites. And I have another one over there that's not quite as big, got more root rot than this one had, but it's living. And here we have a string of dolphins, some small aloe or aloe, and more jade, and some other succulents that I don't know the names of. Excuse me. This is a pup from an ornamental pineapple. So it's just growing in like a loose mix, a lot of drainage, and doing well. Okay, so come over here. This is a black dragon anthurium that if it was in more shade, the leaves would stay darker like this one. But I have it here so it has room, and I remember to water it. And you can see the roots. Let's come down here. Roots are growing really well. There's some kind of alocasia growing in the pot, so I'm just waiting to see. I don't know when I'm going to transplant it, but at some point I'll pull those out and put it in its own pot. Here's a philodendron I got at a garage sale. I repotted it because it was very loose and leggy. I think it's like a Philodendron Arrow, maybe. It's got pink, let's see if I can focus on it. Pink stems, and there you go. But really good grower, fast grower. Leaves are starting to get bigger. Looks really nice. And then pot-wise, I just have them all in different kinds of planters or like black pots. Here is a sad story of a calathea orbifolia that does not get the care it wants, and so I should really just give it away to somebody who will take care of it better. It's a peperomia ginny, growing really well. Some kinds of tea, like in the front. My tea video, these are very skinny long leaves. One's mostly red there. This one's got green and red, some orange. I got these at a store at Windward Mall. I forget the name. Namana Oivi, I think. It's a Hawaiian culture store. And they're just cuttings. So rooted it in some well-draining mix, and they're doing great. Here's a couple peperomia, obtusifolia. Here's one variegated, one non-variegated, and they really like it up here. These are mostly, I try to, hopefully if we get enough rain, I don't have to worry about them. I don't water them a ton, but if we haven't gotten rain for a few days, then I will come in and give them some water. And here's a Sansevieria snake plant, really tall one I pulled out of the front yard. And I have, I'll try to show you, here's some new shoots, brand new coming through. So that's fun. Okay, over here I have this red pot, this huge red planter. I've had a lot of things in it. One of them was one of these philo green Congo that got root rot because it just didn't drain enough, the mix I had it in. So now I put in some Dracaena, marginata. I think these are called tricolor. So try to get in on the colors. Pink. I like to get pink plants, pink foliage. Pink, green, and white. And so they're doing pretty good. I filled the bottom of the planter with loose concrete from the rest of the yard, so it's not all soil. So sometimes I think maybe there's too much drainage, but Dracaena are pretty hardy. They can handle. They'll survive. Okay, and then on this side, I have some what I think is crown of thorns. This is from my mother-in-law's house. It's doing okay. It's not really like a flush kind of plant anyway, I think. And then this is a fiddle leaf fig bambino. So it's like a dwarf of a regular fiddle leaf fig. The leaves you can see are small. And I've got one shoot coming off of it down here. That is finally putting out some leaves. And this one does get mostly full sun. So the ficus, I know they're houseplants often on the mainland, but here they can be outside, they love the sun, they can grow huge, huge, huge. So we're never putting them in the ground. They're gonna stay in pots. Okay, here's a aglaonema silver bay with some hearts and flowers planted in the bottom. It's getting really leggy, so I'll probably take those out soon and put them somewhere else. This was a rescue from Walmart. It was $20, $10 off, and doing well. I think it would like to be in less sun because it's got some sunburn here, but it's doing good. Next to it, a bird's nest fern. I don't know exactly what kind, but it also can handle some sun. And there's a new shoot. So pretty. All right, and then this side, I have a trellis that I wanted it to fill with lilikoi, passion fruit. But I think this side doesn't get enough sun, like during winter. So that's not doing great, but I've also planted in a bunch of vines so that hopefully those will fill in and it'll look a little bit lush, maybe give a little bit more privacy back here. But first we have a kamani. I have a couple of these in the front yard in the tea garden video. And that was grown from seed. It's a tree. Okay, planter number 1. Ficus elastica ruby. A very tiny one that has not grown a lot. I've had it a long time. Excuse me. Here's a philodendron birkin with some really great coloration. The white veiny leaves. Rhaphidophora tetrasperma here. So I tried to put things, you know, that like the same type of watering. So the soil dries out a little bit, then they grow, and then they want more soil, more water. So I've got quite a few stems here, and one is starting to kind of climb up here. Oops, sorry. On the lilikoi. So that's what this darker one is here. Okay, here's just some golden pothos cuttings from a friend, starting to vine up a little bit. This is a Philodendron Arrow I got at Mari's Gardens in Mililani, and it was a great deal. It was a big plant. I think it was like $12, and not variegated or anything, but still really fun. I think it's also called tiger's tooth. So in this planter I put what's called mini monstera, but Monstera adansonii. Oh no, just kidding, that's not mini monstera. This is the Swiss cheese vine with this one here, and it's starting to climb and attach a little bit to the rock wall there. Also a couple cuttings of that Philodendron arrowescens, the garage sale find I had. And this one is dragon tail, which is climbing up the back. So let's go over here. So here it's starting to lobe, go into 3-lobe leaves back there, and it's just climbing the wall there. Okay, so next one, I have Marble Queen pothos that I thought was gonna die on me. Like, pothos is not that easy for me. I don't know why, but it's finally starting to really do well. I'm gonna take you over here where it's actually getting bigger. So pothos, philodendron, as they climb, the leaves get larger because they're in the wild climbing trees all the time. Which along the highways you can see there are trees here in Hawaii that are just completely covered with pothos. And I'm not sure if it's actually smothering the host tree or not, but it's, I don't know, I kind of would like to see the trees sometimes instead of the pothos. I have more Dracaena here, and another Birkin. This one's really big comparatively, but it's doing really well. And what else do I have in here? Some syngonium that I took cuttings of, the strawberry syngonium. So that one's a more slowly growing one, especially the small, but it's doing well, growing well. And lastly, I have a Ficus benjamina, or called weeping fig sometimes. Another one. It's not going in the ground because it is a banyan relative, and you can see some of the roots going into the ground. It wants to grow wider and taller and forever and take over, so it's just gonna stay in this pot. And it was one of my first houseplants. Kind of more boring because you feel like a lot of people have this one, but yeah, it's tall. It was a good deal. It's pretty, so it's fun. And then actually I do have a couple more that are on the tree. We have a jabong tree here. So let's see, let's go up. A lot of fruit ripening right now. Here's a pitcher plant from our friend Lena at Happy Plants in Waimanalo. It's pretty happy. These are wild. So it makes a leaf, and then at the end of the leaf it has a hook, and that hook will eventually grow into one of these pitchers. So you can see how it comes off. Let me come around. It comes off the end of the leaf, and then it grows back up into this crazy pitcher shape, which catches bugs, and it eats the bugs. Okay, and then last thing up here in the tree is a staghorn fern. And this was a gift from a friend in the Green Thumbs page on Facebook that I gave her a bunch of crown flower cuttings for her caterpillars, and she gave me a staghorn fern. So I tied it up here and put some of this, we call it Pele's hair, but it's an air plant, some of that around it, and look, it's even getting babies. Oh, it's so exciting. I hadn't seen that before. Okay, so that's a glimpse of our patio where we like to sit and relax sometimes if I'm not doing plant care. Have a great day. Bye.